Thanks, Sal. The rivalry is huge between Kelly and Andy here at Huntington Beach. Kelly Slater, the 6-time world champion, is definitely the anchor of the East Coast team. Meanwhile, on the West Coast side, you have 2-time world champion Andy Irons holding it down here at HB. Now, the game is a little different than your standard surf contest. Add a little sand, add a little salt water, a little NBA, a little bit of basketball. It's surfing X Games style.
Surfing without head-to-head heats. Welcome to the game. 16 world-class surfers split into 2 teams. East Coast versus West Coast. Similar to an NBA game with 4 quarters and 3 timeouts per team per half. The game, where 4 members from one team are in the water working together for each surfer's 2 best waves. Progression, speed, and style. With coaches on the beach and in the water. The team with the highest score at the final horn wins.
Welcome to the game.
This is surfing's The Game.
Last year, the East Coast hurt the West Coast's feelings, if you will, by taking it away from the home court team. Now, out in the lineup today, well, the Mountain Dew lineup looks like this. Dean Randazzo in red. Taj Burrow, a very dynamic surfer, in blue. Damien Hobgood in pink. And Corey Lopez in yellow. Now, Matt Keckley is the head coach of the East Coast bench. And right over the shoulder right there in the red is Mr. Kelly Slater.
That's right, GT. And this East Coast team is just getting off to a quick start. He just started. Corey Lopez is already up and riding on his backhand on this little right-hander, squeezing off a few little turns on this little right. Meanwhile, down the beach, Taj Burrow got a little wave too. We'll check in and see what Taj did.
Now, Taj in the blue bib, if you will, he is so radical. His style is incredible, and you'll see those elements as he catches waves. He won the U.S. Open here about a week ago in front of a very sizable surf crowd, probably about 30,000 people on hand.
Taj is mic'd, GT, so we're going to be able to hear him talking to his fellow competitors out there. And these guys, like they said, these guys are sharing ways of working together to get a total point score.
Now, Taj won the U.S. Open, like I just said. He's wired for sound, but also the coaches are wired for sound, and it's really cool because you have a coach on the bench, being Mr. Matt Keckley right there. Out in the lineup, you also have a coach that's wired for sound and can talk. That is Mr. Wes Lane out there, and he is a very strong competitor from the East Coast coaching.
Yep,
and then up on the pier, you have Todd Klein. So a 3-way interaction going on between the coaching staff.
That was actually West Coast coach Garth Tarlow up there. There's Matt Keckley and Kelly Slater. Wes Lane out the back is going to be directing traffic for this East Coast squad. The swell is filling in. The tide's filling in a little bit, GT. There are some sets. The waves have dropped a little bit. Let's take a look at these surf conditions we have on tap for today. It's about 2 to 4 feet. The increasing tide is going to affect things through the day, and the wind will likely pick up. And as the tide fills in, these waves are going to get a little less consistent. Nevertheless, when the sets do come, there's plenty of action, plenty of fireworks.
Well, now a little bit of background on the game. Today, the quarters are 12 minutes in length. And remember, the surfers surf as a team. The 4 competitors in the water are not surfing against, they're surfing together. A lot like what we do normally out in our lineup. We're sharing waves with our friends, and we're trying to kind of push each other into the best possible scores.
And look here, GT, there's sets approaching. Looks like the guys are sort of moving into position. Damien Hobgood in the pink. Looks like he's got a left going towards the pier. Snaps one off the top going in. This thing's holding up nicely for Damien. Nice carve off the top. And now as he hits the last section going into the pylons right there. That's a good opening ride for Damien Hobgood.
And it looks like we have red with the paddle right behind him. This is going to be Dean Randazzo's first wave. Up on his backside. Hits it nice once. Hits it again. Gets a good floater right there. A strong finish. Now, Hobgood had 3 solid hits right there on his first wave. And it looks like Randazzo had 2. Lopez now up in yellow, gets a speed pump to start.
Yeah, this East Coast team is starting off with a flurry. Unfortunately, Corey Lopez gets stuck behind on that wave. That thing sort of shut down on him. But out of that exchange, GT, Damien Hobgood looked like he got the best one.
Randazzo making his way back out into the lineup. Now here he was on his first wave. Comes off the top nicely, and you can see that big fan puts his foot back down there to get a big spray and a powerful turn, and then finishes it strong with what we call a floater by floating up on the lip and then re-airing back in. Now, like I said, the quarters are 12 minutes in length. Each surfer is going on their single best wave score.
All right, where the scores are just starting to come in. 7.55 for Damien Hobgood. Here we go. Let's take a look at this one. This left held up beautifully heading into the pier. Damien punches through the lip on that thing. The judges love that. That had some flair on it. And watch the snap. Beautiful carving off the top. Now Damien gets one more hit off that bouncy section towards that pier and heads into the pylons. That was a great opening ride for Damien Hobgood. He's going to sit at that.
To start with a 7.55 is great. Now right here, Dean Randazzo with another wave. Now remember, they're looking for their best individual wave score, but they can catch as many waves as they're allowed. Now right here, Taj Burrow.
Taj Burrow, he's getting some speed, backside float off the top. I'm not sure if that's going to be Taj's keeper, but Dean Randazzo, GT, on that last right-hander, got 2 quality turns. Let's take a look at Randazzo's wave.
Consider a timeout.
Randazzo picking off the little right-hander right next to the pier. This thing had beautiful shape on it. And watch these 2 turns. He comes off the bottom, snaps it off the top, throws a nice little fan, and then on this closeout, boom, leans back into it.
Now, you could just hear in the background, that was Matt Keckley talking about considering a timeout. A single horn blast, they have stopped the clock. So basically, they have 2 minutes now to put their athletes in scoring position and hope for some waves to come in.
Hey, Taj has got to be on the first wave of this next timeout.
GT, let's take a look at Taj Burrow, one of the East Coast franchise players. He's all about technique, one of the fastest surfers in the world. Let's see what he does.
Taj's wave.
It all depends on what mood you're in and what turns you feel like doing, really. The paddling's really important for your positioning. You're just looking at the wave the whole time you're paddling just to see what it's going to do. And then when you stand up, you make a decision on what little path you'll take. When you want to go into a turn, you want to come out of the steep part of the wave. You know, you want to be going down the face just as you go into the turn. You know, you want to come out cleanly from the, the slope and then go into your turn. So it's just all about positioning and reading the wave. And I definitely love to grab and spin. It just depends what the wave's like too, and the wind as well. The wind's really a big factor when it comes to airs and surfing, because if the wind's wrong, it blows your board away, or it could flip it underneath you, which is obviously dangerous. You got the fins pointing up at you. We only get random little chances to launch airs. You have to be really on top of it to ever get the chance. You know, we don't have the privilege of standing on top of a vert ramp and just looking at it and working out what you're going to do all day. You know, you paddle into these little unpredictable swells, and you can decide if you want to race down the line and go for an aerial, or cut back and hit the lip, or do anything you want. It's all up to you. You know, total self-expression. I think that's just the best thing about it. Just having the freedom to do whatever you like, and it's a dream.
Yeah, here they come too.
All right, time is winding down in the timeout. That is the end of the timeout. They have 7 minutes left in this, the top of the first quarter. Taj Burrow, one of the most dynamic surfers in the world. Right now, Taj is holding down a 3.87. He's looking to improve that. Damien Hobgood with a 7.55, quite a good score there. Randazzo, a 6, and then following it up in yellow, Lopez with a 5.75.
Here comes Corey Lopez again on a small insider. Corey's already got a decent wave under his belt. I'm not sure if this is going to be able to top it. This wave's pretty small, and he likes to kick out.
Now, the judges score on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best possible score. And we're listening in on Matt Keckley.
Oh, here comes Taj Burrow on a little right-hander, GT. Watch Todd burst into the speed with the fly cam. Boom, floats it off the top. It's real interesting. This fly cam is a beautiful angle. You can see how much speed these guys generate from above.
And Taj is looking to better his low score right now, a 3.87.
Let's take another look at this one. It's a small little right-hander. I think Taj is just trying to get loose right now, you know. Sometimes you sit out there for a while and your legs cramp up. You just feel like you want to get some, the feeling of your legs moving around. That's exactly why Taj is doing this.
And I'll tell you, that will improve his 3.87 right there. Not a great score.
Wes, we still got to work with Taj, man. Let's just tell him to be patient, man. We've got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left, man. Just tell him to be patient. There's something coming in.
Matt's telling these guys to be patient. He's telling Taj to sit out there. Wes Lane, you see the coach. Coach Wes Lane is pulled up right next to Taj Burrow. He's saying, sit back, wait. You're one of our big guys. You're a big gun. We need a big score from you.
Well, with 5 minutes and 22 seconds left, it's a little nervy on when you can, you know, call your next timeout. Burrow did improve his 3.87 only by a little bit, 4.07.
Taj needs away.
No, I think we've all got sixes. No, I've got the lowest score out of all of us, and it's a 6.
Okay, set's outside, kind of over near
So you guys must
Damien.
have
It's
more
probably
than
going to
6.
fill in everywhere. This set looks pretty good. Everybody stand by. Priority Taj. Wes, sit closer to Taj.
And there is a set approaching, GT. This is going to be interesting. Let's follow Taj Burrow and see what he does.
Right, and so what they're trying to do is get their surfers into scoring position. Taj thinks he has a 6 right now. He actually only has a low 4, so he's really looking to improve. And again, the base level score that they're hoping to come out of the water with is a combined total of 28. So each surfer ideally would get a 7 apiece.
Taj Burrow on that little right-hander kind of choked, but meanwhile, on the left, we just heard the crowd roar. We're going to show you what happened on the other side of that wave as they split the peak.
Wes, get with Taj.
Here's Corey Lopez, what he just did. Snaps it off the top, close out re-entry, gain speed. Do you believe in aerials? Oh, look at that spin, GT.
That was a sweet stick right there by Lopez. Look at the view from the pier. Puts it up, rotates, nose picks it, and then swings it in without a splash. That was insane.
Yeah, and
that'll definitely improve his score.
7.5, he has improved his score. And the East Coast is off to a great start, GT. You know, yesterday in the preliminary rounds, we were looking at it, and anything between a 25 and a 30 is acceptable.
Right, and right now they're well on their way. They need to throw away Taj Burrow's 4.07, and they're right in position.
Another set on the horizon.
He said his board sucks on the backhand.
All right, Taj Burrow with the paddle up and riding in blue. Hits it once, nice straight up off the top. Puts it in there again. Oh, and he goes down, digging his nose.
You heard Matt Keckley, Coach Matt Keckley, right before that wave. He said Taj does not like to go on his backhand on this board. For some reason, he doesn't like it. Could have a bad rail, who knows. But we watch Taj. First turn goes well. That looked great. Everything's setting him up nicely. Then he catches a nose right there and just goes down. That's a costly, could be a costly mistake with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the quarter.
And right now they're running total a 25-1-2, so they're a little bit off pace if they want to kind of, you know, stay in that 28 world, which seems to be a magic number coming out of the water. A perfect score obviously would be a 40, with each surfer getting a 10. So right now they're averaging, you know, a 25-1-2, which is not bad, but they certainly look to improve. And the biggest way they can improve right now is to have Taj Burrow throw away his 4.07.
Taj Burrow throws away his 4.07, and these guys can easily get a 30-point score. And that, in these conditions, GT, is a big number to put up, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on that West Coast squad. Well,
certainly if he comes through with this, if he throws away that 4 and gets a 7, all of a sudden they have a 28. They're right in that magic number.
Right.
And you can see it right there. Hobgood and Lopez definitely doing their job. Randazzo could stand to come up a bit, but right now it's Burrow, and the coaches are going to try and get him in position with a minute 40 left in this first quarter.
It'll be interesting to see. Oh, here we go.
What do you see, Klein?
Listen to Coach Matt Keckley.
Yeah.
That's Todd Klein. Coach
Todd Klein up on the pier.
Seconds. I will consider a timeout, but let's get in position.
Now remember, they have 3 timeouts per half, and they've already used 1.
1 minute, 15 seconds. 1 minute, 15 seconds. Wes, get closer to Taj. Work with him.
I don't think they need the timeout right now. It seems like these waves are coming in, but they got 1 minute and Taj still needs a wave. So Matt Keckley might be forced to use a second timeout here in the first quarter.
And Randazzo with the paddle on the inside right now. We'll have to see if he gets a bit of a score there, but no, a one shot is not going to improve his 6 right now.
We're considering a timeout, but we got 50 seconds remaining. I think we're okay. 48 seconds, 48 seconds.
As time winds down in the top of the first quarter, it's all eyes on Taj Burrow in blue right now as he's turning around. Look at this smallish little wave coming in. Looks like it's going to be a score to the right.
Oh, Taj Burrow taking off. This thing's got a little ramp. He floats the first section. What's he going to do with this closeout? Oh, nice, beautiful snap. View from the fly cam coming through. Now he's hopping on the foam. That's going to better his score, GT. That is exactly what the East Coast needed.
Well, the fans on the beach sure liked it. We'll hope that the judges do as well. Corey Lopez up and riding in yellow, trying to improve a 7-5.
That's not going to do it, GT. I think Corey's just sort of taking off towards the end of the heat. He's got about 5 seconds left.
But now the rider in red out the back, this is Dean Randazzo. He does have a score that needs to be improved upon, and this wave is not going to do it for him.
No, that's just a little mushy left-hander. Dean's on his way in, but the East Coast put up a decent number. It's going to be interesting to see what Taj was scored on that last wave.
So as the West Coast crew heads out into their first quarter effort, right now the East has had a good effort with 27-6-0. This wave right here by Corey Lopez made the difference.
X Games 10, live from Los Angeles, is brought to you by Right Guard, proud sponsor of X Games 10. Saturn, people first. Garnier Fruit Teas, for hair that shines with all its strength. And T-Mobile, get more minutes, more features, more service.
$20,000 people on hand in Huntington Beach to witness the game, surfing X Games style. Now, the East Coast headed out first. They had first at-bats in the first quarter as they went out into the lineup, a heavyweight lineup that is, and first blood was Damien Hobgood. He set the pace for the East Coast with a huge score, a 7-5-5 to start. Dean Randazzo backed him up with a good 2-shot wave and came in with a 6-0. And then Corey Lopez blew it out with that airy burst and a 7-5-0. So right now, the East Coast crew holding down a 27-6-0 as the West Coast gang head into the water. Corey Lopez lighting it up on the East. Maintain the rhythm and stay with us. We'll be back.